Right, everybody, good afternoon. It's Sunday around, how late would it be now? Just before 2 o'clock, just after lunch. And today I'd like to show you one or two of the uses of in watercolor, of a cat's tongue brush. It looks more or less like this. It's kind of a filbert shape, but this particular one is called a cat's tongue because it comes to a very sharp point, like a cat's tongue, I suppose. Well, or I suppose not. This particular one is an Eve, which is a Japanese brush. It's available in South Africa at one or two places, and it's a squirrel hair. It's an old one. You can see the point is still very sharp, but it's perhaps not as sharp as it could be anymore. It was given to me by my mentor, Tim Robson, probably in 1998 or so, and he gave it to me. It was one of his brushes. He gave it to me secondhand, and I've been using it ever since. So a good brush, if well maintained, can last you for many years. Of course, they do lose a little bit of their sharpness, but this one is still pretty good. It's a very versatile brush, and I'm going to show you one or two of its uses. You get bored with looking at the brush all the time. It's a very amateurish video. I'm just holding it with my hand. And yeah, so I've got a piece of paper here just to show you, demonstrate the brush for you. It's a small piece of Saunders Knot 425 gram paper, which is, I paint on this, or the 640 gram. It's a nice heavy paper. So I've mixed a nice bright red. It's a cadmium red, Winsor Newton cadmium. And I've just chosen red because it shows up against the paper nicely. So one of the uses is you can make a nice thin line with it because you can get it to a sharp point. And so this one is not that great anymore because it's kind of old. So, but you can make a reasonably thin line with it like that. Obviously, if you press harder like that, you can thin it or make it thinner or thicker. So that's what it's doing. It's a bit difficult for me to do the camera and the brush work at the same time. So if you lose me, just bear with me. Then you can of course also use it for washes, big washes if you want, depending on the size. This I think is a 1/2 inch. You can use it for broad washes. So if you do a sky or whatever requires broader washes, you can do that. And so you can go nice broad strokes for that. So if you were doing a sky, you would something like that. So you can do a nice broad stroke with it as well. Another thing, and my mentor used to do this a lot, he used it for effects. He used to make bushes in the foreground, sort of abstractly, just by doing this kind of thing, by just making random shapes with it, like that, for whatever purpose you might like. Yeah, so those are just 3 of the uses. Oh, I forgot there's another one. You can also use it because it comes to a sharp point. You can use it for doing small little. That's grammatically incorrect. Small shapes. So you can just do a really tiny little shape with it because you've got that sharp point that you can use. So you can use little things like that. You can go little shapes like that with it, or whatever shape you like, because of the sharp end of it, and then you can suddenly go mad and do that. And sometimes you can even use the edge for an effect like that. It's also pretty good for a dry brush effect, like that. You can get a nice dry brush effect, perhaps for foregrounds or water with a speckle on it and so on. So just a few uses of the old cat's tongue or filbert shaped cat's tongue brush. It's very, very useful, and if you get one that is made out of either sable, which is very expensive, or perhaps a sable synthetic mix, or like this one, a squirrel, they're really great because they hold a huge amount of water and they will last for a very, very long time, as mine did. Thank you for watching.